Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a memory spread for the week of April 3rd through the 9th. This was Easter week, and it was also the week of my youngest baby's first birthday, so it was a really fun week. I am using the Happy Easter collection from my shop. This is a gorgeous collection. The colors are so pretty, and I'm also going to be pulling in a couple of full boxes from my Little Love collection, a baby and nursery themed collection that I had designed specifically inspired by the nursery that I put together for my baby that just turned 1. A nice nod to where I was a year ago. I'm also using all of the matching foil that came with this collection. There's a lot of it. It makes this collection so bedazzled and so pretty. And also my Easter underlays. I have my character stickers, my custom scripts, and my custom pictures for the spread as well. I'm going to edit this video a little bit differently than last week. In last week's video, I talked about how I was going to be doing these videos a little differently. If you didn't watch that one, I basically said that all the scripts are going down at the end, so I was basically gonna like talk through my week or whatever I wanted to talk about, but it wasn't going to necessarily coordinate with what you're seeing on the screen because the way I'm editing it and filming it is just a little bit different than how I used to do, but I'm actually going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm still trying to figure out what works the best for the way I'm filming and the way I'm editing. So I'm going to do the base first, and then I'm going to do all of the stickers that go on top of the base, like the half boxes, quarter boxes, and then I'm going to insert the clip of me putting the script and or character sticker down. So it's kind of going to have like weird cuts. Like if you're looking at it, it's going to go from having like a half box down, for instance, and the rest of the page is blank, and then it's going to have the script, and during the script scene, it's going to you're going to see all the base stickers. It's not going to make sense until you see it, but I think it's going to make the most sense in terms of how the video flows. So you guys let me know in the comments if you prefer the way I'm doing it in this video or the way I did in the last video, which was the chick flick plan with me. And in that one, I had all of the base done first, then all of the stickers that go on top of that. And then at the end, I had all of the scripts and characters all together. So whichever way you like better, I can do. I just wanted to try something different in this video. Right here, I'm pulling in one of the full boxes from the Little Love collection, and the quote says, "Let me love you a little more before you are not little anymore." And that just makes my mama heart feel so many things, happy and sad and nostalgic and bittersweet. And it just is it just brings me back to the day that Hovey was born and those final weeks of pregnancy, and the fact that he's 1 now and he's not as little as he was, and let me love you a little more before you are not little anymore. It just hits. This was a big week. It was Easter, Hovey's first birthday, and my in-laws ended up coming and visiting. So let's just get right into the week. Monday, I had a work day. I remember getting a lot done on this day, and I even made time to work out on the treadmill. I was really proud of myself because I don't make time to work out very often. And even when I have the time to do it, I usually don't want to. These days, I avoid cardio like the plague, but I also need to do cardio. And so I did do it on this day, and I was really proud, so I put it in there. It was a little bit negated by the fact that Alex brought Wendy's home for dinner, so I do try to not eat out as often, and we actually don't eat out as often as we used to. But at least I treadmilled, so I felt a little bit better about having Wendy's. And then I watched Call the Midwife, which I haven't watched in a really, really long time. I binged it when I was pregnant with James, and it's not really a show that I would necessarily recommend for pregnant people because there are a lot of storylines of pregnancies and births and babies that don't have happy endings. There are a lot that do have happy endings, but there's a lot that don't as well. But when I was pregnant with James, I was in a really healthy mindset. I really didn't have a lot of fear about the pregnancy, and I remember really enjoying the show. But after everything that I experienced trying to get pregnant with Hovey, I had 3 miscarriages. 2 of them were specifically pretty traumatic and involved surgeries. I really struggled. I never watched it again. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't stomach it. I remember trying to watch an episode at some point in my pregnancy with Hovey after I knew everything was healthy because I remembered loving it so much with James. and I could not get through it. But I was just in the mood on this day, so I pulled up an episode. I think I have like several seasons now because it's been a few years since I've watched it, and I really enjoyed it. So I watched, I think, like 3 episodes. Tuesday was Hovey's birthday. I cannot believe he's 1. It just feels like the time is going by so fast. And on this day, I did do the treadmill again, which was incredible. Like I was feeling so good. I was like, I'm gonna work out every day this week. Pretty sure those were the only 2 days I treadmilled the whole week, but you know, I started off really strong. Alex went to work, but he ended up coming home early so that we could have like a little family celebration. We ordered Olive Garden. 2 days in a row that we ate out as well. I'm sensing a pattern here. We got some chocolate cake. The Olive Garden black tie chocolate mousse cake is like our family birthday tradition. Like that is the cake that we always get. We'll just get a couple slices of that and share it amongst all of us. And it's just so good. So we lit a candle and we sang happy birthday. And then Hovey like grabbed the slice of the cake with his hands, and it was so fast. We call it rubber band arms because he just like shoots out his arms and grabs things and like clinches on with the strength of a million men. And we thought that the table was going to catch fire because the candle went flying, and it was just like really scary for a hot second. And I think that we like freaked out so like abruptly that Hovey started crying, and it was just very dramatic. It was a very dramatic moment, but then everything was okay because then we gave him a bite of cake and he was just a happy little thing. And then that night, get this. So that night I walked into our bedroom and I felt like I could smell like a slight burning smell. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, the house is on fire, like from the candle. Like that was my first thought, which this was hours later. So that like didn't even make sense. But it was something where I kind of like looked around the room and I realized that nothing looked out of place. Nothing was on fire. And I thought to myself, like, I hope I'm not having a stroke because, you know, they say that you like smell burning before like certain things. I kind of worried about it for a second, and then I just moved on with my life. And it wasn't until later on, like a couple hours even after that, the kids were asleep. I was about to fall asleep. I went to plug my phone in, and the iPhone cable that my phone needed to be plugged into, when I grabbed it kind of by like the middle of the cord. It was really hot, like hot enough that I dropped it. And I was like, what the heck? And I followed the cord down with my hand because it was dark in the room. This was really dumb. I could have like electrocuted myself, but I followed my hand down to the end of it, and immediately I could tell something was wrong because it was getting hotter and hotter as the like cord was being pulled up. And it turns out that the cord had completely like melted and had combusted down at the bottom, and it was just a disaster. I'm going to show you guys a picture of what this cord looked like. Nothing was wrong with this cord. This cord did not look like this. It was not a cord that was starting to slowly fray. This cord went from being a normal cord to being the picture I'm going to show you in this video that night. How scary is that? And I had smelled it hours earlier. I must have smelled like melting plastic. And I don't know if I hadn't plugged my phone in right then, like would our bed have caught fire? Because it was kind of like under the bed a little bit, like it was draped between the nightstand and the bed, you know? That was really scary. So check your cords. Don't just assume things are fine and you're having a stroke if you start feeling like you smell burning. That's the moral of the story. Wednesday was not a super productive day. I did do tax stuff in the morning, and I prepped a shop sale that was going to go up over the weekend. But then I put that I had a fatigue flare. Wednesdays are my injection day for my autoimmune thing. And I have noticed that on Tuesday evenings or Wednesday mornings, because I take the injection on Wednesday night, I start to get tired. And it happens almost every week now. I've started tracking my like fatigue levels, and I've noticed that either on Tuesday nights or Wednesday mornings, most of the time I'm feeling sluggish. So I watched more Call the Midwife. I remember the house was a wreck, and James and Alex had been building forts in the living room like for the past previous few days. And usually at this point, when the house gets to this level of messy, I cannot do anything until I pick it up. But I did not have the energy, so I just remember like being miserable that the house was messy. Thursday morning, I woke up feeling totally fine, energetic, back to normal. And the first thing that happened in the morning is my mother-in-law texted me and she was like, "Can I call?" And I was like, "Of course." So she called and she was like, "We want to come visit," which was the best news ever. I love my in-laws. My kids love their grandparents, like best thing ever. So she was like, honestly, we can come down tomorrow. And I was like, you guys are invited. Please come down. So I spent the day picking up the house. I prepped the guest room for them, changed the bedding, all that stuff, made sure everything was clean, that they had clean towels. And then I did a little bit of shop work, but nothing too exciting. Friday, same thing. It took them all day to drive down. So I just got as much work done as I could so that that weekend I didn't have to work while they were in town. And they got in really, really late that night. Saturday was a family day. I did put my shop sale up, but then I didn't do any more work the rest of the day. I just hung out with my in-laws. James and Papa Goop built stuff, putting floor down and stuff in our unfinished storage space, like our attic space, so that we'd have more room to put things like bins of decorations and all that stuff you put in your attic. And so James helped with that, and it was really fun. They went to Lowe's a few times, and Mama Goot cooked steak, so we had a steak night. And then that night after the kids went to sleep, Alex and I prepped stuff for Easter. So we stuffed the Easter baskets and the eggs, and we went ahead and like started hiding some of the eggs so we wouldn't have to do all of it in the morning. And then the next day was Easter, so we started off the morning with an egg hunt, and we spent the entire day as a family. It was wonderful. My in-laws cooked a really delicious Easter dinner, and we just had the most wonderful weekend as a family. I was so excited that they were able to come in and make that weekend even more special, because my kids love their grandparents, and they don't get to see Alex's parents as much as they get to see mine. So we were really, really happy. And that completes the week in my memory planner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys with my next one. Goodbye.